Hello everyone, thanks for joining me on my mat today. We have a really lovely practice to share. Before we get started, if you want to pause the video, feel free to do so. But we're going to grab as many pillows and blankets and bolsters, anything that's going to make you feel super comfortable and calm as we come into this restorative practice this evening, or maybe even in the morning, whenever you are practicing this. For me, as I was recording, the sun was setting. So this is a really wonderful practice to do if you are getting ready to fall asleep, allowing our nervous system to relax, connecting into our rest and digest, or the parasympathetic nervous system of our autonomic nervous system. So if you have all of your props with you, take a moment to settle yourself into your mat, coming into an easy seated position or sukhasana, whatever feels good in our bodies. And we can bring the awareness to the breath, just settling in the moment, right here, right now. Maybe letting go of whatever has happened in our day, or again, depending on what time of day we are practicing, what we have to do. There's always things on that to-do list, but in this moment, our to-do list gets to disappear. And it is just you and your mat and your props that will guide you through our practice today. So no matter where we are, we feel that inhale and we feel the exhale. So here's where we are going to grab some of our props. We're going to come into a supported child's pose, in particular with a little belly press. We're going to give a little pressure to our low belly here. Here I'm working with 2 blankets, but again, we could have blocks that we could put into the belly, or if we have the eggs, we could do that as well, so they have a little bit more give. A bolster works really well for this. Here I placed a blanket underneath my hips and the heels, and I'm adjusting as I need. That's the beauty of our restorative practices, is that we take our time and we can kind of explore, start to see what feels good in our body. We can always add or subtract as well, but whenever we're ready, we allow ourselves to just melt and fold down to the earth beneath us. And as you can see, I keep making adjustments. Things need to change, so that's what we can play around with here. So having some type of pressure into our bellies, and maybe using a pillow or a towel to allow the forehead to just relax. The idea of a restorative practice is that we're able to find stillness within our postures so that we can allow that nervous system to really, really relax, finding that state of calm and connection and relaxation. And in our supported child's pose, however that looks like for you today, again, there's no wrong, but pay attention to what is putting pressure into the body. So maybe we feel the pressure of the blanket or the bolster gently pressing into the belly, noticing how that affects our breath. There's a little bit of restriction there, a little bit of maybe tactile experiences that we may not be used to, and that's okay. And of course, if that feels uncomfortable, we can always release that. But what does that feel like to be supported? And the idea of the root chakra is about stability and strength and connection, that foundation, that place of safety. So noticing if we can start to get the body to feel safe by allowing those props to do a little work for us. This is our opportunity to let go of any expectations, any competition, or any need to perform. All we have to do is just be here in this moment together, feeling the breath, relaxing the lower back, relaxing the neck, and maybe even challenging ourselves to relax the thoughts. There'll be plenty of time to go over that to-do list, but we let that go. We're here to experience stillness, to experience calm in the body, to experience the opportunity to connect with the body. And it's through the stillness that we start to quiet the mind, quiet the body, that things might be coming up for us. So maybe we notice a part of the body that needs a little extra love, a little extra attention. We become aware of it. We allow that to exist. And of course, we can make adjustments as we need as we continue our practice together today. And then when we're ready, on our next inhale, we're going to slowly come out of that supported child's pose, allowing our nervous system to resettle and reset here. No need to rush. So hopefully at this point we are feeling more calm. Maybe we already feel more rested. So we want to make sure that we stay in that state. So there's no need to rush to the next pose. Can we allow the body to just absorb what it experienced? Allow that mind to release. So the next pose we're going to set ourselves up for is a seated forward fold. Now again, we can use bolsters and pillows and blankets. We can make all different choices. I am again working with a limited amount of props here with my 2 blankets. But if you have extra stuff around you, by all means, please grab it. Use what you need. It's kind of like any place that our body is floating in midair, we can put a blanket or a towel or a ball or anything underneath that, just so we can really allow the body to settle and feel safe and stable in our poses here. So the choice I made in this moment was to roll a blanket up underneath my knees so I can release a little bit of tension in the hamstrings, maybe even releasing any tightness that I have in my low back. I'm allowing the feet to just be natural. So there's no need to find that full flexion or extension of the ankle joint. We allow the feet to relax. And then I made the choice to have an additional blanket or bolster underneath the belly again. So it allows us to give our weight in a different way. So instead of going to our full expression of our pose, maybe we find 75% or 50% or maybe even 10% of what this pose typically, quote unquote, looks like. So finding that place of stillness when you have found it, finding the weight of the head rounding forward, finding the upper back rounding forward, that opening through the scapula. Allowing our low back to feel almost like an opening of a brand new book as we open up that spine. We feel heavy, and we give our weight to the earth. The earth is here to support us. The earth can receive that we want to let go of. And if you're fortunate enough to be practicing outside, maybe you can feel your heavy bones pressing down into the soil. Maybe you can feel the patterning of your breath moving gently internally as you feel the breeze blow across your skin. And maybe in this moment we start to bring to mind any qualities of the earth, or any metaphors or lessons that we want to bring into our practice. Mother Earth does not rush. Mother Earth knows that everything has its time and its place. There's a time to do work, and there's a time to rest. There's a time to slow down. A time to find that internal awareness. And I hope right now is that time for you. Continuing to find that breath. Deep inhales. And if possible, even longer exhales. The more we focus on the exhale of the breath, the more that it signals to the body that we are safe. That the body can maybe let go just a little bit more. And then on your next inhale, using your hands to roll yourself back up, finding that comfortable staff position. Allowing the head to reach up towards the skies, the hips are heavy and grounded into the earth. Again, taking your time here, no need to rush into the next moment. We want to keep the sympathetic nervous system online during this time. So we can adjust as we need. I'm simply turning towards the camera so you can see, but we're going to come into a supported butterfly. So I am making choices to have one blanket underneath each knee, and ideally you'd have similar heights of our blankets. Again, I'm working with a limited amount of resources as my transportation to get to this location. It was a little limited in what I could bring down with me, but that's okay. We go with the flow. No expectations here. So whatever you are working with today is okay. There's nothing that needs to be perfect or exactly right. Just by you showing up on your mat is exactly right. That's all you need to do. Is just be here now with the breath. So coming into your butterfly, using the props as we need, you can stay seated and finding that vertical space of the spine. Or if you're wanting to feel more grounded, more connected with the earth, we allow the upper body to melt forward over towards the toes. Now another option here, if you have additional props, is to once again place pillows or blankets on tops of the knees as well. So when we forward fold, we allow the heaviness of the torso to relax over those props. So depending on how our hips are feeling today, we make choices. And again, just because we have chosen one position does not mean that we are tied to that. You can always find little wiggles, little adjustments that allow us to find a little more ease, a place to settle, and a place to just be. I also had some friendly creatures come to say hello to me as I was in my butterfly. So again, as a reminder, distractions will happen, such is life. But how do we react to those distractions? Can we stay in a state of playfulness, a state of maybe even appreciation for the little creatures that wanted to come and say hi, the little creatures that wanted to practice with me on my mat? So no matter where we are, we try to find another way to reconnect if we've been distracted. Again, many friends wanted to play with me today. And I intentionally didn't want to edit any of this out because this is real. This is real life. Sometimes we have the expectation that our practices are going to be so perfect and Instagram worthy and no mistakes, all the things, but that's just not real. So how can we work with what arises for us as we go through our day? So whenever you're ready, you are able to stay obviously in any of these poses, but I'm going to show you an additional supported twist. So we can make a placement of the legs, maybe both knees are bent kind of in that double stag position here, and we prop ourselves up on the side, so we can kind of place any bolsters, pillows, blankets next to the hip of the lower leg that is bent. And then we allow the upper body to just relax on over. So this is our supported twist for today. Now this may look very different than what we expect a twist to look like in our spine. So make adjustments as we need. But again, it's about finding more ease, allowing ourselves to really find that connection to the earth, that place of stability, our place of safety, our connection back to our own foundation. And that place of foundation may be our breath today. So as we allow ourselves to settle deeper down, feeling the inhale as the belly rises, experiencing our exhale as the belly falls. Inhaling to expand, and exhaling to fall. And then whenever we're ready, we allow ourselves to adjust and slowly press ourselves up. As we are going to switch to the other side. So again, no rush here at all. If that side felt really nice and you want to hang out there for a while, by all means, you can always pause the video. I'm just giving you options today of how we can go through our practice, staying present, staying connected. So whenever we're ready, we can shift ourselves to the opposite side of our mat. So you can either turn your body to face away or you can move your props. And here's the other thing about our bodies: as much as we want them to be symmetrical, we are living in an asymmetrical body. So one side is going to feel different than the other, which means I don't want us to have this expectation that if we brought these props on this side, then we must use them on this side. That's not true at all. We make choices here. It may feel good to have your setup exactly as it was on the other side, or it may feel like we need something different. But it's by slowing down, it's by quieting the mind, stilling the body, that we recognize what the body wants to share with us. So we listen and don't make assumptions about what our body is asking for in this moment. Adding or subtracting any props that we want to. But once again, we settle. Noticing how it feels to slow down to this level. How is our body reacting in this moment? And as always, we take care of ourselves. So if there's anything that we need to do, we can always do that for ourselves. There's no right, there's no wrong. We're paying attention. What comes up as we still the body and quiet the mind. And if you like, you can stay in that twisted position, or we will finish off our practice today with a supported Shavasana. This is another opportunity to bring in as many or as few props as we like. My favorite option here is to have a pillow underneath the head, and then having a bolster or a blanket, or also additional pillows underneath the knees. If you've never done Shavasana with support before, be curious about options. Sometimes just a slight little movement of a prop can dramatically change how we feel in our bodies. So for me, by placing the bolster underneath the knees, it allows my psoas muscles or my hip flexors to relax in a way that just doesn't happen without that bolster or that blanket for me personally. So explore. See what comes up for you. What needs are your body asking for? And again, as much as possible, we are listening to the body and not the mind. The mind can tell us to do a lot of things or not do a lot of things, but the body is a truth teller. So allow that truth to emerge as we settle into our supported Shavasana to finish off our restorative practice today. Hands are wherever they need to be in our bodies. Finding that breath. Inhaling, rising of the belly. Exhaling to fall. And taking this time to maybe even doing a body scan if we need to, paying attention. Or maybe we just want to listen to the birds as we settle and melt into the ground, knowing that Mother Nature is here to support us in whatever way we need today. And if or when our mind wanders, we bring ourselves back to the breath. Our foundation. Our ability to connect ourselves, our ability to connect with others, our ability to connect with the earth. And no rush at all. We can stay in that Shavasana if we desire. Or maybe we roll ourselves onto one side. Maybe in our own time. Again, we can pause the video at any moment. But maybe we find ourselves together in our Sukhasana. Taking this time to allow the body to absorb all the wonderfulness that it shared with us. I just want to send nothing but gratitude and love for showing up on your mat today with me. I will always respect and honor everything that you bring. Nothing but gratitude for everyone today. Thank you so much, and namaste.